Hello, everyone. Is Manchester United heading towards a 10 out of 10 window? Well, I mean, almost 10 days left of the transfer window. Are we looking to do something spectacular? Players lining up to go out of the club. Club is working tirelessly to get him out of the door as well. But who is coming in as well? Ugarte has been waiting for a long time. Sander Berge and Kardioglu potentially. Striker Ivan Toney potentially be a late hijack deal. You can see the interlinked domino effect taking shape in place at the moment. And Chelsea, Todd Bowley in the mud, walking out 85th minute of the 1-2 defeat against Man City or Chiti. Doesn't mean that, the domino effect that, Todd Bowley is going to go and buy a Victor Osimhen. And how is that affecting Man United in the transfer window for selling Scott McTominay? A lot of things to get into. You know what it is. It's Mick and Mark coming in here, having our say. And hopefully with this stream, we will make you a better day. But you know what to do. Like and subscribe. And Mark is late, but here we go. Good evening, everyone, or good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. It's Monday and day of recording, 19th of August, and 10 days left of the transfer window as of this Friday. Are we going to see players out of the door? Are we going to see 3 more signings coming in? In this show, we're going to talk about it and look at it from both angles, but we're going to start with Todd Bowley. What the hell is going on? Listen, breaking news as well. We have some massive breaking news to share with the community, but at the end of the day, I've been hearing and I've been seeing the new logo for Chelsea, and that is like this. In the mud, as Todd Bowley was reported walking away 85th minute in the transfer window. They bought collectively a squad over 40 players. I mean, giving the manager a massive headache to select. You have like Raheem Sterling sitting on the bench, getting handsomely paid, and a lot of players getting multiple over 300k a week, but not even being selected. And you can't even feed the first team in the 2 bosses, to be honest, like over 40 squads. So will Chelsea go in for Victor Osimhen? And how is that Victor Osimhen going to affect Napoli going in for Scott McTominay? Well, there is a snowballing effect, but still, we got to add this to the stage and laugh a little bit. It's a little bit of a clown show what they're doing. And oh my God, how you all doing today, this Monday? How you feeling after the first leg of Premier League? And of course, it's not over until the fat lady sings, because Spurs is playing today as well. We have celebrities in the house. We have the real Ivan Toney in the house. Hello, is this Mark? No, this is Mick. You got the wrong number, mate. I've been on your YouTube since some of your stuff. I call me being an average player, but don't forget I played the League One. Then I made it up to Prem 169. Well, if you are the real Ivan Toney, come in, have your say as well. I'll share the link and show yourself. That's the only way to validate. Anyway, big up the real Ivan Toney. We're going to talk about you later as well, my friend. Yolam Amin is here saying, good news. Ivan Toney looks like he's going to Saudi League. Ivan, can you confirm you're going to Saudi League? He can take 22 million wages with him, and there's over 450k a week. Well, that's astute. Ivan, if you go to Saudi, I mean, you're 29 years of age. I'm not going to slag you. You're a good player. I would love you to come in at Man United to bag a couple of goals. But listen, you go to Saudi, tax-free money, mate. You set for life. For 2 generations, you can pay the school tuitions and, support your family. But let me know in the chat if you want to play for United. But apparently, there is some reports saying that you, Ivan Toney, will be becoming a Manchester United player. And the Manchester United are potentially looking to come in for you at the end of the window. Listen, if not, stop trolling. This is a community. Yolam Amin is also saying, looks like United just bid for Sander Berge, but shy under 30 million, which Burnley want. Yes, 100%, Yola. That is truth. And at the end of the day, I've seen a lot of fans saying, well, I don't want Sander Berge. He's not a sexy player. They are so spoiled because we are used to getting shirt sellers, in my opinion. But Sander Berge played, in Burnley. He played in relegation teams. Of course, you don't see the stats and the potential of the player. But if you put him in Man United shirt, I believe that he's going to cook. And Sander Berge, according to me, I did a video of that, will provide you a system, right? He is that kind of destroyer, but he's better than Ugarte in ball carrying, right? That is something that, Ugarte is missing. And that's what we're going to talk about anyway. So it's a lot of things. Lol. Yeah, I can see that. Lol. Yeah, if it's not Ivan trolling, Willie, if it ain't Ivan Tony trolling, let him come in and have a say, by the way. Look, breaking news, we're coming in here as well from Lucky Singh to say, incoming bid for 25 million to come for Scott McTominay. We're going to talk about that as well, because I've been speaking to the brilliant Alfredo Perdola, my friend, as well. If you guys missed it, we did a collaboration last summer. We spoke about all the Serie A signings that came to Man United. We spoke about, potentially Rasmus Højlund. We broke that story as well. Also Andrew Onana and plenty more. So I do have the finger on the pulse when it comes to Alfredo. And Alfredo been leading this story regarding Napoli. It's led to believe it's going to be about 30 million, but it's all interlinked in what AC in terms of what Napoli is doing. Selling. They need to sell. Who are they going to sell? Well, Victor Osimhen. And who does Chelsea need to sell? Well, they need to sell Romelu Lukaku, and that is what they're going to do. Romelu Lukaku on 350k a week at Chelsea. They're going to sell him to Napoli. Napoli will get that money, and they will buy Scott McTominay, and that is how they can afford it. But in the meantime, there's been some reports that there is some bidding war for Scott McTominay. Fullham, which walked away, they sang the song "I'm Walking Away from Troubles in My Mind," came in apparently on the third bid to say we will bid £25 million for Scott McTominay plus 5 add-ons. And this is the breaking line what Manchester United wants. And that money, my friends, we're going to talk about, that's going to be significant. So it's time to deliver, Manchester United, as per this thumbnail. Time to deliver with the outs and time to deliver with the ins, because they're waiting. Ugarte's been waiting. Ugarte's been handing in a transfer request. Ugarte was not even picked. And, PSG is kind of playing a little bit mugs. They're trying to play a game of chess here to say, well, United will cave, but United will not cave. Hence, they're going out on the market to put fillers out that we are putting in a bid for Sander Berge. So this is impeccable, according to my opinion. I want to know what you're thinking as well, guys. Robert Niash is in the house. How much do Manchester United offer Berge? Well, I think it's maximum 20 million. But you know what? What clubs don't realize nowadays, they think they're speaking to the old regime of Manchester United. If you've been sleeping on the road clubs, you've seen what Manchester United been doing in the transfer market. We snubbed Real Madrid on Lenny Euro. He agreed to join. We snubbed AC Milan for Xerxes. And this is something called amortization payments, meaning that we've been going on our terms as well. We also did a brilliant move, a double swoop on Bayern, which is a powerhouse as well, for 2 players for 50 million, right? We're talking about Mazarawi and we're talking about De Ligt. So why do you think all of a sudden are we going to overpay? Think twice. We're not going to overpay. 100%. Manchester United are now dictating on our terms. Omar Barada is sitting there. Dan Ashwood is sitting there. We have impeccable backroom staff that are capable to do the deals, to sell. So that's why I said in the beginning, will there be a record selling Manchester United season, which we haven't seen before? In the beginning of this transfer window, I said it myself. I said it. The most important thing for me is the outs, to get the deadwoods out. And we've seen so far players going out. And we're going to talk about Pellistri also. It's almost a done deal, according to Fabrizio Romano. Mark is in the house as well. Mark is just pulled out. He pulled the hamstring, but I can see a black screen down here in the green room. I'm just waiting for him to reveal himself as he sets up the studio as well. Big up George Best in the house as well. We have Lucky Singh with another story. Breaking incoming bid submit for Scott McTominay. There'll be around 25 million mark for Napoli. Well, I think it's going to be about 30 million. So we're going to talk about that. And also Galatasaray, Brighton and Everton are interested. And also lately as well, but Spurs are interesting. I think that, we did that on purpose, that we put in Scott McTominay, against Fulham, just as a display, just a teaser. You want him, you pay, right? And after that, we played them and we won 1-0. After that, the bid came in to say, well, we're willing to participate, right? We're willing to offer you 25. The question is, where do you want Scott McTominay to go? Where does Scott want to go? Apparently, he agreed personal terms with AC Milan. I wouldn't mind going down to a little bit Naples, like, in Italy, eat a little bit pasta, drink a little bit espresso. And you know that I'm a big fan of my double shot espresso. Anyway, wake up, smell the coffee, because we are doing madness in the window. So I'm going to shout everyone out as soon as I can. And we have some breaking news as well, which I'm going to sort of share with you exclusively for you as well. Sky Sports is deliberately saying this as well. I know it's Sky Sports is bang on when it comes to Fulham, and that's what they are, very, very capable and reliable when it comes to Fulham news as well. But so far, so good. Fulham, what you're saying, Stu, have matched an initial price of £30 million for Scott McTominay. This is impeccable, Stu. If you watch this stream, we always said this is going to be a bidding war for Scott McTominay. Manchester United will get what they want. And so far, Man United had got everything that they wanted on their terms, meaning we're not going to overpay. We're going to sell for the right price. But what about Pellistri? 10 million, according to reports. We're going to talk about that because apparently Pellistri to Panatinakos is almost done, according to Fabrizio Romano as well. There's been some reports to say, well, why so low? Well, Man United included a sell-on fee, 50%. 50%. So in the future, if he cooks over in Panathinaikos and he goes to a bigger club for a bigger fee, United get 50% sell-on fee, which is great, great, great. So you're willing to sacrifice a little bit, get some players out of the door, eliminate the wage bill, and then in the future investment, it's like you're investing in the stock market or Bitcoin, you get a return on investment. That's what it is. Fishy fishes in the house. Smash the like, guys. Yes, please smash the like. For the living God, it's free. Finger the thumbs, because we like it. Mark, are you there? I can see you. It's totally dark. Do you have a power surge, Mark? Because I'm waiting to pull you in, but you are on mute, my brother. You are on mute. Glory, glory, Man United. It's like Papi was saying. Oh, my God. Mark, tell me about Lindelof, Sancho, Medjugorje, Pellistri, and Casemiro updates. Well, we're waiting for Mark to come in to tell you about that as well. Did Chelsea score against City? Yes, they did. Didn't they? Or, yeah, I think it was 2-1. But Todd Bowley, come on, man. Todd Bowley. What are they doing? I mean, if this doesn't work, Chelsea will be in the mud. Where's the money coming from, Big Lebowski? Where is it? Well, one person you can ask where the money is coming from is absolutely Mark Nurse. Hey, how you doing, Marky? You're on mute, as per usual. Do I need to get a sign language?
Big up, guys. What's good? Hope you're well. How's everyone doing? Enjoying the day? Nah, yes. Glory, United, bro. You don't do the go stuff here. This is not the soccer game. Go. It's a football game. Big up.
Yeah, so we have instantly a question for you. You pulling in raw, you pulled the hamstring on the way, you were rushing. Glory Man United is asking you, Mark, tell me about Lindelof, Sancho, Medjugorje, Pellistri, and Casemiro updates. Casemiro, I can tell you straight away, he ain't going nowhere.
Well, that's been the talk of right now with Casemiro. We do know that there was some recent talks held at the transfer summit with his agent for Saudi clubs, but as his current performance is, it looks like there might not be too much movement. If there's any, I would say deadline day, possibly, maybe. You know what I mean? Right now, what we have to look at is Pellistri. I think that's the most imminent transfer out, as Mick probably has been mentioning to you guys earlier on. Pellistri is going to be leaving to Panatinakos. There's some possibility that there might be a hijack from one or two other clubs coming in from Spain and possibly the Premier League as well. But currently, there's a deal in place with the player on personal terms with Panathinaikos, and it seems like a deal somewhere in the region between 8 to 10 million euros will be agreed in the coming hours. Scott McTominay is not on the list, but that's the guy that's possibly going to be leaving as well in the next coming hours. He's committing himself to the Napoli project, although there has been some rumors that Fulham is probably rekindling talks with Manchester United for a move for the player with a third bid. Let's see how that goes.
Yeah, well, as well, like Aaron Wan-Bissaka was the fire starter. Scott McTominay is the key here, the cog in the wheel for the rest will unfollow. So that means that if we sell Scott McTominay for 30 million, that means that we can go out and buy Manuell Ugarte. We can utilize the money for also adding on the sales of Pellistri. That is instantly 40 million plus. Scott McTominay, 30 million is pure FFP profit on the PSR. So that means that we can go now and buy Manuell Ugarte. And we're going to talk about Ugarte as well. So impeccable. Mark, I'm going to ask you a question. What do you reckon about the new Chelsea logo?
I mean, it's a far cry from the Abramovich era. You know, Abramovich set some heights for owners in this league that I feel there's very few can meet. Man City are close, but they have not met it yet. At the same time, you know, they've also experienced a world of success. At the same time, the situation with that, however, with him having to move on, it's another reason that you would look at the league and say, well, there's all kind of different things in play. Sancho late for training today. Well, I mean, it's gonna happen. You know, remember, guys, he had an ear infection. When you have an ear infection, guys, it's possible that your timing is off. You know, your balance is off. The way you walk, it's a little slower because your ears help with your balance as well. So, you know, give the guy a little light one. You know what I mean? He's already not in the squad. You know what I mean?
He's inevitable. He will leave. It's inevitable. It's just a play for the gallery. What we said, like, you know, they put him out there in the preseason US tour. They played him a little bit, but it's always been like they wanted to sell him, cash in. Like, of course, like, you know, Dortmund walked away, said we don't have the money, but there's possibility that Bayern walks in is also bidding for him because Bayern.
The Bayern thing is not going to happen, Mick. That's never
going to happen. Because they lost the target on Desiree Doué to PSG then.
Well, you see, the problem is the Dortmund and Bayern have the relationship like Manchester and Man City or Liverpool. So it's like a rival situation. It won't end well. It's not something.
Yeah, and PSG just recently had an injury blow as well, which means that they have to buy another winger or striker.
More like a striker, but I mean, I'm thinking if it happens, it will happen. I don't think it's something that they are like forcing an issue on because there's no bids coming in currently for the player. So I think if there's a bid that comes in that is close to the mark, I think they might accept it. But currently we have not received any official bids for the player. So I don't think it's something that's pressing right now. I think the more pressing issues is the likes of Lindelof, who picked up a slight knock in training, apparently. But
what was the picture with him on the crutches, by the way? Is that an old picture?
That's just for security's sake. But there's been some reports that he will be ready if a transfer comes in. He should be available to pass some medicals. So let's see how that goes. Yeah. But the concentration right now in this week, it seems to be Scott McTominay as well as
that is the young
Pellistri. You know what I mean?
That is the cog in the wheel. That is the deal breaker. But Mark, something ironically, like with what Compos Murphy is saying, like, you know, he said, Mark, Sancho late for training again. And I would say, Mark, you're always late. Your middle name is late. So you
but we're Trini, you know what I mean?
You're Trini like Sancho. So are you related?
Dwight York used to be late for training all the time. You know what I'm saying? I think it's a matter of timing, but at the same time, I think if he's late, but he works hard in training, I mean, he could make up for it. You can give him extra training. You know, it's one training session late. Let's see if he makes another one. Then we'll start having a problem. But I think right now we should keep it a little bit positive in terms of the whole team in consideration and not just one player.
Jawohl. Elite Bowler, I'm just going to answer your question. Guys, if you do have questions, put a Q and put your question and we'll star mark it and come back to you as well. Yes, I do make everything. The beats, the graphics, the video editing, everything. It's the crazy, crazy creative mind of mine, to be honest. Yes, 100%. MUFC Charlie, it's been a long time, my friend. Afternoon. Yay. Glory, Manchester United. Or go, Man United, what Poppy's saying. Kazimiya is in the house as well. Good afternoon, guys. Do we have anything else? Irfan is here. We deserve better. Big up, Mick. Yeah, big up to you as well. Nice top. Chelsea starting as they mean to go on. Chelsea. Let's move on. If you're going to talk about Chelsea, this is the domino effect, right? So I was speaking to Alfredo Pedula of the weekend, and he said, Mick, be prepared. Napoli means business. Conte is pushing. Okay, Mark, you're talking about you. Anyway, let's continue. Sorry. Can I have your focus? Can I have your attention? Can the real Mark stand up? Please stand up. Stand up. You know, Eminem.
He's here.
Yeah, he's here. Like the Eminem. Can the real Mark please stand up? Please stand up. Okay, please listen, Mark. Listen, I spoke to Alfredo Pedula of the weekend, and I asked him the question, listen, is this just a play for the gallery? No, he said Milan and Napoli is very, very advanced, interested in him. Conte is pushing like mad. They want this tall beast as a specimen. He sees something special in him. They're willing to pay 30 million, right? Pounds. But it's all depending on them selling Victor Osimhen. And now the snowballing effect is that Chelsea needs to sell Romelu Lukaku. Romelu Lukaku is racking up 350k a week. Romelu Lukaku actually pissed on the Chelsea badge. If you know, you know. But now it's very, very advanced that Napoli will sign Romelu Lukaku. And that money will be utilized to Scott McTominay. So this is how things are interlinked. But the question is now, will they have the time? 10 days left of the window. Scott McTominay agreed personal terms, apparently, with Napoli. He wants to go to Napoli, but now Fullham is coming back in to say, listen, we want him. 25 million plus add-ons. But I believe that Manchester United will take the highest bid. And at the end of the day, it's what Scott McTominay wants. What's your opinion?
Well, if it's on what Scott McTominay wants, we can tell that he wants Italy right now. You know, whatever Conte and Napoli said to him in the meeting, he gave priority to them over all other negotiations that was ongoing, which means, you know, Fulham hasn't agreed terms with him as yet, but that should not be a problem. But at the same time, he has agreed terms with Napoli. So I think that's really where he wants to go. Maybe he feels like he doesn't want to be coming up against Manchester United week in, week out. But if he does, if Fulham does come in with a huge bid, I would hope that he would accept that for the sake of Manchester United so we can get the best value for his sale. But at the end of the day, if he chooses Napoli, I think it might not be so bad since they are willing to negotiate also in the interim in terms of saving time. They are also trying to negotiate the obligation to buy for Scott McTominay for somewhere between 32 to 34 million pounds. So it might be they pay a little bit extra, but then they pay that money next season. You never know. They will pay something down. His wages will be off the books. I think that opens up the door as well to bring in Manuell Ugarte, but yeah, let's see how it goes. I think I'd rather more money up front as well, personally speaking.
Yeah, no, true, because that is a significant. If we get 30 million for Scott McTominay, that's, or what I said earlier, that is going straight into plus on the books, like, because he's a homegrown talent. But the thing is that if you manage to sell him for 30 million pounds plus 10 million euros for what is his name, Pellistri, which is now, it might even go up higher, because I spoke last week, I met a Panatinakos fan, and he was so worried. He said, we really want Panatinakos but we don't have that money. 10 million is the maximum we can pay because of our books. So it doesn't mean he's going to go to Panathinaikos with the 50% sell-on clause. You know, you could take that money and recuperate later. Like, you know, it's like you buying Bitcoin or in stock market, and then return on investment goes up with 50% when you sell. Or who do you else? You mentioned something about Spanish club coming in.
Yeah, there's rumors that Granada, as well as the other Spanish club that he was at before, also are interested, and there's also some interest coming in from the one that they call the Yellow Submarine. I keep forgetting the name of that club. Someone help me in the comments.
Yeah, but the Yellow Submarines was actually Unai Emery's old club. Was it not Valencia?
No. It's not Sevilla. It's I forget. I think this guy, they just sold this other guy to another team who plays there, who played off the wing, and they're interested in getting Pellistri to Valencia, I believe it is, the Yellow Submarine.
Yeah, Valencia.
Yeah, Villarreal. Valencia. No, it's Villarreal.
Villarreal.
Villarreal is the team that's interested in getting him, bringing him over to them. So let's see how it goes. I think it's going to be interesting. Anyway, you take it, United is certainly going to stand to make a profit on Pellistri. And we will know by Wednesday, at least for the latest, that it will be a confirmed situation. There's some reports that it's accelerating quickly. Man United are pushing to get these players out, to bring in 2 players as well. So it's one of those things, Mick.
Well, it's been reported that Man United can buy one midfielder without even selling. They still have rooms in the budget, but selling Scott McTominay, selling like, you know, Pellistri, Medjbury, Lindelof, will just be like, you know, this is going to be evidential, like, you know, because I believe that at the end of the day, we have approximately 10 days left of the window. It's all depending on the sales. As many players we can sell, the more we can move in and bring in more a sort of a record-winning window, like, you know, in, squats out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is 100% like, you know, reports saying that we have put in a bid for Sander Berge, right? We have. But is that more of United making a mark towards PSG to say we're willing to walk away? Or do you think that they will bring in 2 players?
I mean, I don't know if that report is actually true, because we did put in a bid for Sander Berge, rumored to be around 20 million, and that was 2.5 weeks ago. But I don't think we. I think it hasn't been an official bid. It might have been a verbal offer for a secondary option. As you know, they did reject the first bid for 20 million, and that's what's been reported. I don't think we'd put in a second bid for 20 million pounds, if you know what I mean, Mick. I think that would not make any sense at all. But at the same time, if we do go in for Sander, getting him and Manuell Ugarte would seem to improve us. You know, he's actually better than Scott McTominay. You know, he's very good progressively, so that will be very interesting to see how that goes. And there's also the factor that Ugarte is also our priority target in midfield. Sander cannot replace him in that defensive role. There's no way, shape, or form which he can do it. So I think Sander will come in as an 8, more likely to replace McTominay.
That's interesting because he's in height. He's a Scott McTominay replacement, and in height he can play a number 8. Yeah, you know,
height
he's
is
a very
not the
good
factor for number 8, but height is decent in a sense. Height,
but
is good.
He's a very good ball progressor. You know what I mean? Comparing to Ugarte. So could it be that they are looking to buy in a Ugarte to play a hybrid 6 and 8, and having just Ugarte playing the specialist role number 6 and rotate with Collier, or potentially have players that could play multiple positions, like, you know, Sander Berge. Better yet.
I mean, I won't say better yet, because we would definitely suffer defensively if we just get Sanderberg. I don't think there's any way around that. He's not a tackling beast or anything like that. But what I could say is he would definitely assist in progressing going forward. He's a very good ball progressor. If it's anything that he is that. He's not a good tackler. He's not the one that's going to win the second balls. He does have a good passing range. He doesn't get that much passes off during a game. He averages less passes than Amrabat as well as Casemiro. And I'm talking about somewhere in the region of 30, where Casemiro and Amrabat are in the high 40s and 50s. So I think he's going to be a good player, much better than Scott McTominay, possibly can develop to even a better player as well. You know, but he's more of a steady Eddie, I would like to say, in my opinion.
Don't do me a Graham Souness.
No, it's true. He's a steady Eddie. He's a steady Eddie. He's a factual steady Eddie, bro. Like, if you look at all his stats and compare him to all the other choices that we were linked to, he's not really better than them. The only factor where he exceeds any of them or close to is progressing on the ball. Everything else he's below, and in some it's like a drastic stark contrast.
All right, pause for a second there, because I've been watching a lot of fan channels as well, and you know, I'm defending Sander Berge, and as per you saying, like, you know, I looked at his stats. I did a special video about him. Jarvis loves him. You know, he was a generational talent back in 2019, but his career hasn't been playing for top clubs. So he's played for teams that played in low block. Hence, his stats are different, right? But he's got that in his locker. That's the thing. Footballing IQ. So I like to compare him a little bit with Mazraoui in a way. The way he plays the ball, the way he thinks, the way he turns around. It's footballing IQ. And this is what we need.
I just with a player like that.
No, I'm not. No, but just similar. No. I'm saying that in a similar style. If you watch Mazraoui play, like, you know, the way, like, you know, he can cut into the middle, and all of a sudden he makes this unanticipated move and plays the ball where you don't expect him. Well, that is Sander Berge as well. Like, you know, if you look at compilation videos, if you have watched him play, but the notion that people saying, well, I don't want a sort of a Burnley player, it's just nonsense, right? Because for me, what I've been saying to you in our conversations is, like, I'm willing to give the boy a chance if we sign him, to see what he's all about in Man United shirt and what he can bring to the team. Because clearly we are recruiting players that are specialists in their positions that can transform the team, because we're building a squad for the future, right? It's a system play, right?
I mean, he's to say he's a good player, I won't disagree there. But to say he's a generational talent, I would never believe that, not for one day. Because if he was
I'm saying that he was generational talent. Listen to me. No, you just listen now. Can you just give me some space to explain? When I say generational talent 2019, there was him and Erling Haaland from Norway. They were predicted to be future stars of Norway. The other one, which is the robot, he went on having a stellar career. He went to Dortmund and he went to the right clubs. Well, Sander Berge went to lower clubs, right? No, so what is it? Well, no, please don't interrupt. Please, let me just finish. Let me land. So what is it to say the Sander Berge in Man United shirt is the right move for him, that he can excel and display why he was that, right? You know, instead of looking at what he did at Burnley and what he did at, you know, other
Yeah,
clubs.
but football don't work like that, in my opinion. Mick, look at, in my honest opinion, Mick, Odegaard was a generational talent. He went to Real Madrid, he played 6 games, and then they sold him for 20 million
Exactly.
pounds.
Odegaard
Right?
was
So
as well.
honestly speaking, it's like, if you're generational, why are there no other top clubs in for Sanderberg? I mean, we are not the only one who does the Moneyball system. So I understand that he was generational coming
But
from
what
Norway
if
4 or 5 years ago.
what if we have
But
identified? What if we have identified something? Right? We are
there,
not the scouts.
Mick, I'm not saying I'm a scout, but I'm just looking at the player profile based on everything I've seen and his progression for the last 5 years. If he was generational, he would be at a top club. That's just a fact. If you're
But all I'm
generational,
saying,
you will always
all
be
I'm saying here,
entitled to shine through.
Mark, all I'm saying here, we are not the ones that are making the signings. We are not there scouting. We are not the one that composing the system. Yeah?
Exactly.
So if they've seen something in Sanderberg, we should just accept it and just let the boy cook. Like, you know, that's
I would accept it if they purchase the player, but don't get me wrong. If I had to choose, he would not be on my list. I don't think he's worth coming, and he's not going to be a starter at United. Let me be.
Maybe he's not going to be
honest. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that, you know, I wouldn't sign him. If
Again,
United
why
sign him,
wouldn't he be why wouldn't he be a starter?
Because
isn't he a better,
he's a steady Eddie, Mick, and that's it.
Don't
he's
say
a
steady Eddie. Don't say steady Eddie.
He hasn't done anything. If you look
at
him,
he's better. He's better an upgrade. He's better fucking upgrade than Scott McTominay. That you can agree.
Well,
right?
I mean, if you in terms of midfield play, yes, I would agree there. But almost any player better than Scott McTominay in the midfield, so that's relative. Hannibal is better than Scott McTominay in the midfield. I think Collier is better than Scott McTominay in the midfield.
They are not being selected by the scouts, and they're not being selected by
exactly.
This
is why I'm saying selected. My opinion.
They have not been selected. They have not been selected by Jason Wilcox, the technical director.
True, and I understand that. This is why I just give my opinion on what I've seen from the player. I'm not going to.
Oh no, I'm not having an argument. I'm just trying to understand your thinking, because
my thinking is based on the facts, on the stats, on the games that I've seen from him. So it's just that's why.
Can I finish my point there? Like, you're interrupting. If you don't let people do the job, like, you know, I know you're coming from that. Yeah, I want a better player, but what is for us to say that he's not worth to be part of the squad? He's not probably going to be the starter, Mark. Right? He's going to be part of a system. Right? That's what I'm trying to say. You agree or not agree?
Well, not really, because I mean, I do agree that the scouts are looking at him and they might see something that I am not seeing. But in terms of anything else, I would disagree. It's not a player I would look at. That's just my honest opinion. I just keep in the same energy, to be fair.
Oh, okay. Well, fair. Everyone has an opinion, but I'm just trying to be balanced to sort of provide, like, you know, why are they looking? Why do you think? What is the VR room think? And Irfan is also coming in. I'm quite confused. Why we think that United don't have money. Every season we're told by journalists, and Goldbridge like to say that two guys are wrong. Every season we buy more than we sell. 100%. That is true. But maybe that is a strategy. I mean, you don't, when you play poker, you just don't go all in straight away. You say you're putting out fillers to say we don't have money. This is the tactics to get what we want, isn't it, Mark?
100%. And like, you know, the only reason I would say that I do really think that we broke is because we are Man United. We have 500 million fans worldwide. Bro, we sell at least 100 million kits a season. That is no mean feat. So I would think that we do have money, but, you know, it's different. You know, bragging about what you have, it tends to make you lose what you have faster than if you was to, you know, not be expected to be having a lot of money in your pocket. So it might be a situation where it would be good to say, well, look, we can't afford to spend what we normally spend, but still we could go out and spend that money quietly. That's interesting as well.
Yeah, I mean,
and
that's what we're
saying Berg is an upgrade on McTominay. I don't think McTominay should be the bar level for a midfielder in Manchester United. I mean, McTominay's level is not that great. It's very limited. So if that is the bar, then we're not really going that high up from there, you know, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. McTominay was good in the past where we were mediocre, but now we have new establishment. We have a sporting director. We have a team that are actually scouting, selecting the right players, and going for the right profiles. So McTominay is a surplus for requirement, which doesn't fit. You know, of course, he's cheap, Mark. He's cheap, 60K a week. But if you look at what we are going to recruit, and if you're Lindelof and you're McTominay, you're going to look at yourself, well, damn, I'm not going to get minutes, so I might as well go to Fullham, where they love me, or I might go to Napoli where they love me and I'm going to be the first team player. I'm going to be important. And players do think that way as well, right? Unless you want to sit there and stop the development on the youth players to come up to play, right? So, yeah, no, of course we can have discussions regarding this. I love you as a brother, you know what I mean? But sometimes I agree, sometimes I don't agree with you. You know what I mean?
Nothing wrong with that. I mean, we might never really agree on Sanderberg, to be fair, but until he proves me wrong, I need to see it. I'll be fine.
Yeah.
You know what
I mean,
maybe
guys? He comes in and proves you wrong. Maybe.
Exactly.
That's
but, you know, I will come and hold my hand up and be like, yo, I was wrong. You know, I was totally wrong. And I could accept that. It's just that, you know, I will just have some opinions on some players and it'll be cool.
Yeah.
Listen, domestic.
We have...
big up, bro.
We better recruit it in Sanderberg. Instead of... We better recruit in Sandraberg.
Probably, I think, you know, I mean, Sandro does have a good eye of players, so, you know, I'll probably just, you know, take a step back on this one and, you know, wait and see how it goes, because in my honest opinion, if we do get him and Ugarte, no one will complain. That's definite upgrade toward the midfield that we have. You know, I'm just going to be a little bit fraught with a little bit suspense if we don't get the two of them. And it's just one or the other.
For disclaimer, me and Mark, we love each other. We're like brothers, but sometimes we don't agree. It's simple as that. In any type of relationship, you always get these arguments. Like, I agree, 100%. You don't agree. But for me, I always want to understand what's your reasoning behind your argument. And that's why I'm pushing you as well. Good afternoon, Jonathan Ball. How are you doing as well? Listen, we're going to talk about that one because we spoke about Scott McTominay. We do expect a bidding war, Mark. What do you expect? Where he's going to land? 30 million. Is Manchester United going to get what they want?
I think we will get what we want. It's just when. That's the only interesting situation, guys. Because look, positively speaking, you know, let's say Fulham come in with a bid. Let's say West Ham, for crying out loud, coming in with a bid as well. Both of them offer 25. They say 25 plus, right? What Scott wants to do that's what it's going along to. So, like, the three clubs could be battling, which we want, because we want to get, you know, closer to 30 million than 25. You know, so if the three of them in a battle for Scott McTominay and we get to somewhere between 30, 35 million, I think it will come down to where Scott wants to go. We know right now that's Napoli, and I would kind of bet he would go to Napoli, to be fair. I think Italy might be interesting. You know what I mean? I think he might have had enough of England for a little while too. You know?
Yeah, a little bit of a change the picture, change the scenery, go to Italy. Who wouldn't, like, you know, go to the continental Europe, to be honest, right? Anyway, big up. The Voganator is in the house. Jonathan Ball. We see Stephanie Griffith saying 58 likes, people. If we can get to minimum 100 likes, that would be fantastic. We do love your thumbs. It's free. Just press it. And yeah, I mean, there's 10 days left of the window. It's squeaky bum time. But they're working overtime, right? The agent, basically the super agent, Jorge Mendes, you know, he's working overtime, right, to get the Ugarte deal over the line. And I think he's gonna be so important. He's gonna get him off the line, right? Apparently PSG is saying we're still adamant. We just still want 50 million for him, 51, and United saying no, you're not gonna get it. Who do you think United is going to cave at the end of the day by utilizing the sell of Scott McTominay and Pellistri to use that money towards Scott McTominay?
Well, it's one of those things where I won't say it like cave, in the sense that, okay, so far in the window, we have gotten all the signings that we wanted on our terms. We've been batting in our crease and we've been hitting home runs. So fair enough is the argument. You know, if it in terms of cricket, we've been hitting sixes. If this time we hit a 4, I won't be so disappointed, if you understand what I mean. Because at the end of the day, we're talking more about the necessity of the profile of player as opposed to the want. It's not a beautiful luxury signing that we're going to get. We're going to get a signing that's a workhorse that's going to be key to the way our midfield needs to work throughout the rest of the season. An engine. And when you're buying an engine for your car, I think you would want to get the one with, you know, with the best amount of horsepower in terms of torque and ratios, everything. Then you're going to just get any Chinese engine, because, you know, you might not be going as fast as you need to be or be able to climb a hill with the car. So that's one of those things for me. I think we will definitely get Ugarte. Also, I think maybe it might have a late drop in price because, you know, PSG, the player is openly and vocally saying that he wants to be out of the club. And in a situation like that, no one wants to be, you know, indirectly kidnapping someone.
Yeah, true. That you speak sense there. Guys, I just started the poll and I want you to engage in the VR room. Where do you think McTominay will go? I gave you 3 options here: Napoli, Fulham, or Brighton, to be honest. So get your voting in there. And something happened to Mark. I think he got hit by a rock because he was speaking bad of Sunderberg. If you know, you know. So I want to talk to you about, the potentially where Sancho is going, right? And I'm waiting for Mark to come in as well, because I'm going to ask him the question. Mark, talk to us. Where do you think Sancho will go, right? Because apparently that swap deal is off. Do you think the loan to buy is now off? Do you think it's going to be what we've been saying? Because we've been valuating Sancho on 60 million euros, and they've been saying the same thing to us. Do you think it's going to happen? There will be a straight swap? And do you think that Jorge Mendes is working tirelessly to get this done?
A swap with whom? Whom is the
with
question?
Ugarte.
Oh, Ugarte.
Sancho Ugarte.
I think it's possible, but I think more likely it might be I don't want to see this happen, right? But there have been some rumblings coming out from this guy, Christopher Mitchell, who's also one of the aggregators for Sky Germany. And he has been quite, interesting in terms of this transfer market, especially with the deals that we've done so far, especially with Yen and Euro. He's one of the first guys to speak about the Euro deal.
Yeah.
And he was saying that there's a huge possibility that Manchester United might be in for a swap deal with player plus cash. But the way he said it, it doesn't seem like Chelsea is the one going to give us players plus cash. It seems like Manchester United giving a player plus cash for another player.
And now, who's that? Who are they buying?
See, this is the thing. They didn't mention that. So I can't say if it's not a headline, if it's not something sensational. But what he has been saying is that United have been interested, in discussing some terms with Chelsea. Chelsea would like to offer 2 players or a player plus cash.
Todd Bowley? What is he doing? Was that him like in an 85 minutes on an emergency call? Like, no, this is not good. Oh, I need to get a Nozman. I need to rack up like 50 players now, right? Spend more money. Really? Really? Is that what's going on? Is that what's going on, Mark? Is that Toad Bowley, guys? Let me know in the chat below, right? Seriously, this is the theme of the day, clown show, what they're doing. But the question is, where do you think where do you think Sancho will end up at the end of the day? Because it's clear and evidential. Ear infection, my ass. He wasn't even selected. They're definitely looking to sell him, right?
I mean, yeah, I think he will certainly be up on the market for sale in some way, shape, or form if they really have offers coming in. I think the offer's not going to materialize out of thin air. If PSG didn't get Desiree Doué, I think he'd be a shoo-in to go to PSG, to be honest. Now that they have Desiree Doué, it's an iffy situation, because if you look at things this way, I think with selling McTominay, it's definitely going to see us, procure the funds to get Manuell Ugarte. I think it's just an excuse that we're using that we don't have money. So I feel like maybe it might be something different. Juventus might be a club that could come in the last minute of the window for him if they sell Chiesa. That's our next interesting situation. Nobody hasn't been talking about it. And he already had verbally agreed terms with Juventus as well. So you never know, guys. You never know.
Yeah, listen.
Criminal, bro.
Yeah, no. Listen. My gaffer from Strategy News, the chief editor, and we're talking about Dale O'Donnell, just came out with an article that I want to share with you as well, which says, revealed why Premier League outfit, which is now we're talking about Fullham, are now doubtful they can price priority target from United despite just meeting asking price. That means that Napoli means business. Napoli, as what I spoke with Alfredo Pedula over the weekend, is willing to pay £30 million, right? And this article come out to say that, Crystal Palace, Brighton, and Juve Albion has been sorted to be interested. But it's also said that Fulham have reported matched Manchester United price on £30 million for Scott McTominay, but they are afraid that they're going to lose the battle because Scott McTominay has kind of said, yes, I'm willing to go to Napoli. At the end of the day, what it comes down to is what the player wants, isn't it? How can this
100%? 100%. But it's a good thing. Good on Scott McTominay. At 27 years old, 26, 27 years old, you want to be getting as much game time as possible. this is like, you know, the prime years of your career. You don't want to be sitting long as a substitute on a bench. You know what I'm saying? So I think, you know, for what it's worth, he might have not been the explosive, dynamic player that we wanted to have when we first burst on the scene. You know, he ended up to be very limited. But when it comes to mentality and the drive, he's up there with the world's best when it comes to mentality and drive, when it comes to being a football player. And I think if we had 5 players with his mentality, if we could have give his mentality and drive to Jadon Sancho, my God, and Marcus Rashford, 200 million wouldn't be enough to sign Marcus Rashford.
Well, what's your take? Did you read a report to say that, you know, Ineos is losing patience with Marcus Rashford? This is his final chance, and if he doesn't perform, he will be sold, right?
Spot on. This should have been happening 2 years ago. I've been talking about this for 3 years. Maybe not online and on YouTube, but, you know, I like Marcus Rashford. For what it's worth, I think there's nothing separating him from Kylian Mbappe other than actual mentality and drive. I think what he lacks is the mentality to be the best player that he can be. And I'm not saying that he can't be it. I'm saying that he just needs to focus. Like, he needs to block everything else. Maybe he needs to change his surrounding friends that he has around him. Yeah, maybe that's the problem. And, you know, I wouldn't like to say that because then I would be, you know, basically slandering the people that are close to and around Marcus. But in reality, over the last 9 seasons, he has never improved. And that says to me that the people around him are not driving him forward. They are keeping him back. My honest opinion.
Well, maybe the surroundings hasn't been the best, right? So listen, isn't it just Ineos telling everyone to get on your bike and just fight for your place, right? There's no room for elitism. There's no room for making errors. You cannot take a private jet anymore to have a lash in Belfast and stuff like that. It's pretty much them saying, like, you know, gear up, you're getting handsomely paid, and now perform, right? If you don't, out of the door. That's it, right?
I think everybody should be on that belt. Majority of the players this season, like, not the new guys who just came in, but the majority should be on that same thing.
Knowing that we are now in close negotiations to close off the Ugarte deal, knowing that he wasn't selected over the weekend to play, knowing that they're not going to keep a player in terms of Ugarte to sit on the bench, it's inevitable, right? You cannot hide from that player wants to go, and he's pushing really hard. He's very angry, according to Fabrizio Romano, and now you're seeing this. To be honest, I think that United is pulling out pressure to say that Manchester, you know, first bid, they're utilizing this to say it's been rejected, right? Or do you think that it's got legs, or do you think that they're utilizing the press in terms of using the Burge to lower down the pricing of what they want?
I think he's utilizing the press. I mean, at the same time, I would say it like this. It looked like the same article we talked about 2 weeks ago when we made an initial bid for him. Same amount of fee discussed, and in the same time frame, the bid was rejected. So at the same time, we can't know for sure. We are just speculating based on the reports that are coming in and what we have seen all summer. I would not mind. I think, you know, sometimes you need to do these things, and even if you have to walk away, you have to walk away. I mean, there's also an alternative in Ederson, who comes from Atalanta. He might be 2 or 3 years older than Ugarte, but I think he has the same profile. So, you know, as long as we get the 2 right profiles. And what about Amrabat? Nobody talking about Amrabat. You know, what if we go in for a £6 million deal, swift and fast, and you next know Amrabat comes into the building? That changes everything.
Which kind of leads to the end of the show, which we're going to talk about Amrabat and, you know, the deadline deals, right? Because I believe that it's going to be deadline deals. Like, you know, this is the squeaky bum time where a lot of clubs are looking to make bargain deals, right? Desperation hits, right? I'm just going to finish off the poll, Mark. Basically 34 votes. Thank you, everyone. Where I said, where do you think McTominay will go? And what do you think people were saying without cheating? I said Napoli, Fullham, or Brighton.
I think he's gone. I think they will say he's gone.
To where? Napoli. Fullham, or Brighton? What?
Napoli.
74% of the vote said Fullham.
Seriously?
Seriously, yeah. Seriously. You know, I can share it. I can share it what people were saying. Hang on, let me just pull this up. Right. So here you go. Here, if you can see it, I cannot enhance it, but you know, the poll says Fulham 72% mark. Are you surprised?
Very. I
Why?
mean, like, don't get me wrong. I mean, I think Fulham might offer more money. I just think that Scott McTominay, there's some players make that they you know they will never sign for a rival team, a team that will play against United, the team that they leave in. They will not do it. They will rather move to another league than sign for another team to compete against the team. And Scott McTominay strikes me as that type of player.
Yeah,
I just mean.
I mean, seriously, if I go to if I was Scott McTominay, I go to Napoli. Like, first and foremost, you get played in Champions League, you play under Conte instead of going to mid-table club. You know, it doesn't really make sense. So I can understand that he agreed personal terms, and now he's just sitting there waiting, like everyone else waiting. And which means that we're going to transfer over to the final piece of today, Mark, which is players are placed waiting. Kardioglu still has not said complete done to Brighton. Still, it's been reported to say that Manchester United are saying, hold your horses, wait for us. We're going to sell some players and we are going to purchase you. Do you think that that's the case, Mark?
Yeah, I think so.
Why?
Because Kardioglu has gone to Brighton. He's agreed terms with them. They have agreed a deal. I think he's going to have the medical today. I think we're going to get a shock left back that no one was actually thinking about, actually. And I actually am happy about that, to be fair. I think Kardioglu is really amazing, and he has a lot of versatility, but he's not left-footed. And I really want a left-footed left back. So I'm hoping that we make a rush for Gutierrez, who has a similar fee, but it's a release clause. So as long as we pay it, we trigger it, the player will come. Yep.
We have some breaking as well. Then Fullham are now willing to match Manchester United 30 million pounds. 30 million pounds. Is that 30 million plus 5 add-ons? You see the bidding war starting. And this is according to Michael Plant 82. Just don't really know if this is a credible journalist, you know, so I will wait to hear further. Michael Plant 82 at Mank.
Might be. He's an aggregator for one of the for this guy. What's his name? MUFC PMB. I think he's another one of the guys that is work along with them. So there's usually have similar stories.
If he was Scott McTominay, he's got nice pizzas in Napoli, yeah,
bro. And Scott looks like a young guy, you know. Who knows? He might be into Italian ladies as well. He might be going over there thinking, you know, that's what I'm looking at. It's going to be interesting. No. The summers are warm.
No, nice 100%, beaches. Andrew, just summarize, Andrew, like what you're saying here as well. You know, the transfer window is so delicate at the moment. It's all like interlinked, the domino effects, but, you know, sell to buy. And Napoli is waiting to sell Victor Osimhen to fund certain deals. And then you have Chelsea offloading Romelu Lukaku. And Napoli is going to buy now, apparently to the latest news. They're going to buy Romelu Lukaku and get the money and utilize that money to buy Scott McTominay. And the thing is that Conte is the instigator here. Conte is the one pushing for it. Conte really wants Scott McTominay. And thank you, Conte, for taking Scott McTominay in consideration. So there will be a bidding war. And I did a tweet instantly on the weekend to say it will be 30 million, right? Pounds, not euros, right? So this is the information that I received also from Alfredo Pedula, which has been having his finger on the pulse when it comes to Serie A players as well in Serie A League. But the thing is, we spoke about Kardioglu. Do you think he's going to go to Brighton, or do you think that Man United will come in for him, like, you know, based on the sales here? There's 10 days left of the window. Drama. Do you see a hijack?
It's very possible, Mick. I think it's going to be. I think we could possibly see a hijack. I mean, the problem is with Scott McTominay. I think it might just be one of those. You see, this is what I'm telling them this morning. You know, Manuell Ugarte Deal. Scott McTominay saying I want to leave to Napoli changes everything. Manuell Ugarte saying that I want to go to Man United changes everything. PSG have no choice. Right? Ugarte could be coming in by tomorrow or Friday. I am telling everybody this because you could see it. It's almost written in the stars right now. Now, Fulham is going to aggressively pursue this deal because they know they wanted McTominay. Napoli is going to aggressively pursue the deal as well, which means United stand to benefit, which means they stand to earn a revenue, also allowing them to go in the market and do the deals they want.
But Fulham did what United did as well. They said we're walking away, and they're coming back again. Like, you know what I mean? So they instantly noticed that Napoli is in front of the shit. He's our prime target. Let's go back into it, right? But it's too late a little bit. If McTominay set his mind already, I'm going to go to Napoli because, hey, I'm going to play in the Champions League. It's much, much better for me. You know, so that's why Dale O'Donnell wrote this article as well, which I displayed earlier, that they will most likely miss out because Scott McTominay made up his mind, right? You know, who would you go to? Would you go to Napoli or would you go to Fulham, right? Which offer you the better opportunities in career growth and, you know, climate plays a role in everything, of course. Fulham, London, but Napoli is Italy, right?
Yeah. I would choose Napoli. I would choose Napoli in my honest opinion because at the same time, Italy is nice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you could always enjoy it, see what's there to have, see what's there to be seen. Yeah, it has so many more interesting things to do there than you know, in terms of with just moving to Fulham.
Right. Well, it's going to be definitely an interesting week to follow. I think that Ugarte will be unlocked before the weekend. It's hard to put a timeline. It's like predicting the weather, like, you know, the weather forecast. You look 1 week ahead and you can see there's some rains and shower storms and thunders looming ahead on Saturday. But when Saturday comes, it's sunshine. Yeah. So, you know, we don't know simply, but what we know, it's advanced at the moment. We know that Jorge Mendes is there negotiating hard as he can. We know that the player wants to leave ASAP. We know that PSG trying to sort of think they will cave. But I think United will win this race as well. So we will see. 100%, 100%. By the way, so we will come to the Q&A section as well, guys, because you guys have put in fantastic. But we do have some breaking news, Mark. We definitely have some breaking news that we want to share with you. Something special. Yay! Big up on the weekend, Mark. If you noticed, we achieved a massive milestone, 2 years in the making of the channel, and we just surpassed 40K subscribers. I tweeted it out. I sent the message to everyone. I did a community post on the YouTube channel. Thank you, everyone, for enabling us reaching the goal. And thank you, Mark. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, all the moderators. Thank you, the viewers in the VR room that tunes in every week in, week out, every day, tuning in on this channel. When we started this channel, I started along with Phil Standish. We were just us two talking geeks, talking football, talking to 0 people watching. And now, 2 years in the making, 40,000 subscribers. This is surreal. I just want to say massive thank you. I'm out of words, but if we achieve 40,000, we will shave it off and give 10 to Mark and his channel. If that's
big
possible.
up, guys. So, Mick, it's all good, bro. Congratulations to the channel. Congratulations to the VR room. You know, what I can say and what I will say is that the community is growing and it's glowing. It's going to be much more interesting to have everyone joining us more so on match days as well. It's going to be exciting times, guys.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts? Let us know.
Mark, you came in as a viewer, remember?
Yeah.
And then you came in on a call-in show. And then you became a producer, right? And now you're sitting here, right? So everything is possible. Everyone that's came in, part of the community, if you want to have your say, come in, you know, have your say, and you might be part of this channel as well, guys. So it's just been amazing. Thank you so much, Mark, as well. I know we agree to disagree sometimes. I know you know, I know the shit out of you. I know that, but we still love each other, right? Yeah. Hey?
Yes, so thank you.
Anyway, guys, let's go over to the Q&A sections. Let's do this, right? So what do we have in the Q&As?
Right now, let's get into the Q&A section. Let's see about the start comments. I have a few. I have to start some more. So maybe, Mick, could you bring up the first comment so I could check through for the other comments that we have?
Of course, we'll do. Hang on a second.
You don't have to answer that question.
I'll answer the question. You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
Hey, we're coming down to the Q&A section. First, it's Jonathan Ball coming in. Jonathan Bolly. He was the one to say peace, love, and bananas, and that's the slogan we use. That was crafted by the big legend here with the spanner. Saying congratulations, MUFC Realist TV, and 40K. Big up to you as well. Jolly Mamin is also saying here, it looks like United just bid for Sander Berge, which is shy under 30 million, which Burnley dismissed them, but anyway, they want. But anyway, I don't think so. Irfan, what are we saying here? John coming in. Mick, can we rely and trust Maguire all the season? De Ligt all the way. Mark, what do you think? Yes, I spoke to you about this yesterday.
That would be interesting. I think I would love to see De Ligt come into the squad. Also, you know, when you look at Maguire and what has been happening with him, it's going to be very interesting to see what he does. I think he had a good performance last season. He's had a decent start to this season so far. I think that's going to only be positive for Manchester United going forward. And, you know, De Ligt just came in. He hasn't had a preseason like Mazarawi, so he's going to need some time to warm up and get himself into the season. I think coming in and getting some minutes here and there to warm himself up, get into the league is good enough, guys. I think the performance was largely very, very good from United defensively, solid in the midfield. The only problem, we weren't clinical up front, but we created lots of chances. So, I would not be mad.
No, we're going to talk about more deeper in Jarvis's Corner tonight, 9 p.m. UK. Like, we're going to dive into that as well. But, Mark, you remember you and me, we had a WhatsApp call yesterday. What did I say to you regarding Maguire, if you remember?
I think you were saying something about you don't mind him starting or something like that.
I've actually changed my mind on Maguire. I actually done, to be honest, because on the Friday game against Fulham, he showed a different Maguire, right? So I think it's not a bad shout to keep him for another year. I mean, as a backup, like, you know, centre back. I mean, he's definitely improved, and he had a man of the match performance almost against Fulham. I think he was sublime. And the fact is, they came, you know, 3 versus 1, and he put his big boot out, like, and stop the ball. That was a game changer in that game. So I don't mind. And De Ligt, 100%, like, you know, he got in 9 minutes he played, but it was more just to sort of bed him in and give him a little bit of minutes in front of the, you know, Stretford end as well. So I think it's going to be De Ligt and Licha. Licha better stay fit, but I think the partnership is going to be, you know, De Ligt and Licha, and then you will see, like, you know, when Lenny Euro comes back, he's going to sort of deputize a little bit, and Maguire as fourth choice, to be honest. I mean, Johnny Evans is a stopgap, and that's about it, I think. What do you reckon?
Probably. I won't disagree there. I think that's certainly an option that we could have going forward into the league and whatnot, because at the end of the day, you know, United is what we want. We want to see the team do well. We want to see the players compete for their positions, whether it be a winger or a striker. We want to see the best man winning, because then, you know, we get the best possible player for the match day in the games, and that's what I'm thinking. Big up to Hamza as well coming in.
Yeah, 100%. We're going to the next question done by Irfan as well. What is McTominay's contact details? I want to donate into Blue United gear to me since he's leaving. I don't know. Do you have his contact details?
Actually, I don't. If I did, I would be driving him to the Napoli myself.
Oh, bro, you were in the mud beginning. We had the real Ivan Toney to come say, don't slag me. You know, what do you know about me? You missed that in the beginning, Mark. So, yeah, be careful. It might be the real Ivan Toney watching, but I don't think so. Really?
He's still going to Saudi, no matter what you say, no matter what.
Yeah. But what's this to say that, you know, United will potentially come in at the sort of cheeky end of the window to put in an Ivan Toney bid? You think this is going to happen, or? There's been some reports. Not a chance. Yeah. They look at the mentality profile. Jonathan Ball's coming in with questions. Just watched the Charity Shield. As soon as Scott came on, our passing plays broke down. Far too limited. I had my say. That's true. I mean, he's a limited player. Like, you know, I don't really know what it is. He's more of attacking box to box, but he's not really good at defending, because far too long he's too slow jogging, ball watching, not intercepting. He's just a unit, right? IT unit, a spot player, right?
I mean, he's a good unit, you know, but at the same time, is that what we want?
Yeah. Shit. Okay. Oh, Stu's coming. Well, Brighton and Kardioglu now a done deal. So that means that we're missing out, right? Have I missed something? Yeah. Shit. Okay.
I think there was some an update just now that says we lost out on Kardioglu. But I mean, like, it's one thing. I think he was a prime target that, you know, we could have gotten. But I think the price that they're asking for the guy is a lot hefty, £35 million. But I think that's a lot of money.
Don't you think that United scouts and Omar Barad and everyone is sitting there, like they had this meeting and they reshuffled the cards a little bit to say, hey, wait a minute, we don't need to get a left back. We still have Harry Amas that can play there. We have Murray, you know, Leacher can play left back as well. We are covered, right? And then plus, you know, after the international break, we see Luke Shaw coming in and, you know, potentially, you know, Malacia as well. So I think we're good, right?
I mean, yeah, I know. I don't think they're good. They're planning to depend on Luke Shaw this season, but at the same time, you know, if that's what we have to depend, if that's who we have to depend on, I won't be mad for now. I would still say let's try to get in another possible option that could help us going forward.
Yeah,
just in case of a possible secondary breakdown on Luke Shaw, because bro, this guy, honestly, for me, he can't be trusted.
Yeah, I'm saying like Paul S. No sardines for the seagulls. Unfortunately, there will be sardines for the seagulls, but you know what? At the end of the day, 74 likes, people get up to 100 likes. We're going to move on to the question. Napoli, what you're saying here, it would be best move for him is shine over in Italy. Yes, I agree. Because why? It's a little bit of a slower league, right? It's a little bit not like Premier League, and I think that Scott McTominay in Serie A will be doing well, to be honest.
100%. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing him go to Napoli. At the end of the day, I think Italy's a good league, and then we won't have to worry about him scoring goals against Manchester United. I think that's my major concern. Apart from that, yeah, bro, Scotty can go wherever you want to go. Feel free.
Yeah, I agree with Colin McManaman saying hopefully 30 million for Scott. Yeah, I think that is the bidding war. That's the conclusion. I hope we beat Liverpool so that I can spend Botswana puppy to court charges. Yes. Question coming in from Thomas Virgines. If Ugarte is so much better than Sunderberg, then there should be at least 3 players out there that we can get before him. It doesn't really make sense since midfield has been ignored for 4 years. Yeah, big up. That was kind of the tune that I was singing, like, you know, because everything that we get now is an upgrade on what we used to have, right? For 4 years, we had that McFred situation. We had the famous donut hole, right? We haven't had a proper midfielder or CDM since Carrick left, right? So getting Ugarte in, getting quality midfielder, even Sunderberg is an upgrade on Scott McTominay, what we have. And that was kind of my argument, Mark.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. At the end of the day, Scott, you know, upgrading on Scott. I mean, like I said, we need to get midfield. We need to get bodies in. We have a lot of games to play this season. So it's definitely going to be a situation of, you know, how we get the job done, more or less. You know, a lot of fans might be complaining, like even myself, even though I might be complaining about Sunderberg. I mean, we need bodies in if we want to compete on all fronts this season. There's going to be a lot of games, and in order to do so, we're going to need we only need a fully fit functioning squad.
Okay, let's move on to Royden Frost's question. If we got Ugarte and Amrabat, would you play Casemiro at an number 8 role with Maino? Yes, 100%. I've been saying that. You know, as Casemiro better going forward now than tracking back. Yes, my opinion is 100% yes, Royden. I certainly see that happening. It looks like what Fabrizio Romano was also saying, that there was in the beginning, there was interest from Al Ittihad or whatever, Al Halal or something like that. But they changed presidents, so there's no more interest regarding Saudi. So I think that United will keep, Casemiro. I think he slimmed down. He looks much sharper. Looks much more fitter. His legs is the problem, but the way he played against Fulham, the number of through balls, the creativity, he almost scored. I think he's more of a number 8. Like, he will play an important role in that position. Mark, agree? Disagree?
I agree. I think he could play in that midfield role. It would be interesting to see how it goes with him. You know, Casemiro has shown a lot better performances in this preseason than we have seen last season. You know, but it also bodes well for the entire squad. And if you look at the squad, a lot of them have had problems last season in terms of, you know, understanding the system that we play in and getting themselves fully, you know, there. about in performing their tasks. So if you look at currently what's happening with the squad, I would say that, you know, it's an overall upgrade in terms of everybody performances and what in their understanding of the system that we're trying to play, and, you know, the roles and what's expected of each and every one of them, and that improves us all holistically, which is more important, you know, than anything else at the current moment.
Okay. Second last question comes from Elite Bowler. Question: gut instinct. Who do we sign before the window closes? Question mark. Ooh, difficult one. Difficult one.
I mean, there's so many players that we've been looking at, guys, and, you know, don't forget the two free signings in terms of Rabiot as well as
is also
Mario
waiting. Hasn't
Hermoso.
agreed anything. Rabiot hasn't agreed with nobody.
I think you know, I think Rabiot and Hermoso is options that we have to keep in the back of our minds. They're on a free. I want to say that if you look at some of the players we're moving out and the cost that it will take to bring those players to Manchester United, it's going to be rather, how to put it, cost effective to bring in those two experienced talents that will definitely improve us going forward into the next season.
Oh, we have another bomb by last question from Yola Malmin. Gundogan is leaving Barcelona. Yes or no? Fuck,
yeah, I think he's actually going. I think he's actually off to Saudi. You know what I mean? It's one of those things.
Would you take him?
9.
Why?
He's played for Man City, bro. He old and he played for Man City. The two things that he's negative there. Huh?
Well, we stole all my brother.
So that's different. He work in the back room, you know what I mean? But he not celebrating on the pitch, what laughing at us when they beat us 6-3. So I take.
So you don't look at the player's ability, you look at more about what you did to us.
I look at both, but at the same time, you know, for me, like when it comes to certain rival teams, it's like I'd rather go and buy a lesser player and hope he succeed than buy a player from a rival, bro. Because then that means I'm giving them money to strengthen them in the future.
I personally can't say what United will do on the deadline day. I don't know. Maybe they will come in and say, listen, we need a Rabiot, potentially what you say. Maybe we would just go, let's get to Ivan Toney and we need another number 9, right? Seriously, we have the only prolific number 9 is Højlund. I mean, I don't say that, you know, Xerxes is a number 9. He's a 9.5, yeah? He's not a goal poacher, right? And then what you have after that? Well, you have Ethan Wheatley, which is young, right? So knowing the profile of Ivan Toney, a little bit disruptor, I wouldn't mind, like, you know, goals. Like, come on.
True.
Yeah.
And this is why I say, like, I don't mind all of those things with the options, but I would never sign Ivan Toney to Manchester United. He's not good enough. He's old. He's not getting any better. And this is the one player that I think not going to do anything positive for Man United. Only he's going to delay the advancement of Joshua Zirkzee and Højlund.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to explain this thumbnail, time to deliver. Like, you know, why I'm saying that time to deliver now, you know, Ineos has set a roadmap right now. I mean, we've seen the market, we've seen what they're doing, we've seen the ins, the outs. And now I believe it's time to deliver because we believe in standards. Like they're setting the precedents, they're setting the bar higher. So what we can expect here in the window, players leaving and players coming in, and then we have a full fit squad, right? And that's what I want to see, you know. Me personally, I have still the DNA of United, you know, high standards, winning every cup. And that's what I want to see as a fan. And that's why is this thumbnail time to deliver, because it's now down to them, right? I know we're not going to fix everything in one window, but damn, what they're doing right now, it's almost mission impossible. And if they pull this through, hats off, man. You will take your hat off, Mark, as well, right?
100%.
Cool. What's Admiral Drex is saying? Tony should go to Saudi Arabia.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Swear, I would be so happy. You know, people might say I hating on Ivan Toney, but the guy is just a little bit much for me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a fan.
Let me just explain in what I mean. I like Tony in England. I like Tony as a goal scorer, but why is nobody in for him in the Premier League? You know, you obviously looked at the persona profile. You see, this is disruptor. why would you have somebody disrupting the harmony in the dressing room unless you can taint or being the lying tempter, right? So that's the question. Can you work with him? If the answer is yes, I said, well, go ahead. Right. I support that. Because at the end of the day, we want goals. Like we want somebody to finish the dinners. We know that Rasmus is injured. He might have another hamstring injury again. So we want to be in a position where we can actually replace like for like. So I don't mind Ivan Toney at all, but would he just fit the team environment? That's the big question. And why is he not being recruited by any other Premier League team? Question mark. I finished with that. So who are we getting next summer by Madhouse? Well, me and Mark, we discussed about this the other day too. And the fact is that the centre-back, which is from OJ Nice, what's his name, Mark? That we were so heavily linked with?
Oh, Todibo.
Yes,
Todibo.
Yeah, well, the fact is that they only allowed him to go for a potential loan to West Ham means that we are probably going to buy him next summer. What do you think? Possibly. When everything is over, to get around that UEFA ban rule, right? Anyway, so lots of things to digest, lots of things. So don't be frustrated. We are just reporting and discussing here. We had a viral discussion, me and Mark, regarding Sander Berge. But later on, we're going to have a beer together and cheers and laugh about it anyway. So just keep your eyes what's going on and, don't let this get to you. Like, this is normal in the transfer window, 10 days left. There's going to be a lot of movements, ins, outs. There's a lot of clubs going to look for bargain deals. But who blinks first? This is Russian roulette, people. This has been Mick Ruby here with Mark Nurse having our say. And hopefully we made you a better day. And later on, tune in 9 p.m. as per tradition Monday is Jarvis's Corner, diving deep into Manchester United and the Premier League and how we played against Fullham. But if you have been sleeping on the rock, if you missed Mark Nurse's own channel as we are streaming to him, please go because subscribe to his channel. He is almost at 1,000 subscribers and we just hit 40,000 subscribers, guys. Although it says 37 here, right?
Big up. Smash those likes, guys. Thanks so much for all your support. I was ideal and amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, I just switched to Jarvis's Corner brand so you guys could sort of tune into that one as well. Anyway, there's 40,000 subscribers here, and thank you so much again. Listen, it's going to be interesting, Mark. It's going to be very fucking interesting. I am dying to see, but we're also playing over the weekend. Brighton, they played pretty well over the weekend, didn't they?
They played decent for real.
For real. Anyway, guys, love you and leave you. See you later on this afternoon. Go check out Mark's channel. And congratulations for all of us for 40k subs. We're going to do that again because it's... Thank you. And what we say, Mark? Glory, or go Man United, and peace, love,
and go bananas, guys. Big up to all of you joining.
Ciao. See you later. Bye for now. Bye.
Thank you so much for stopping by and watching MUFC Realist TV. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on the socials.
So, Mark, are you calling Sanderberg bang average player? Are you?
I'm not calling him bang average. I just said he's a steady Eddie. I didn't say he was bang average.
Don't
bang
be
average is a stretch.
You are a great.
Bang average is a stretch. Steady, I never said bang average, but he is
steady Eddie.
Don't get me wrong.
We're still alive. We're still alive.
I generally think that he's a good player, but not that player that have an X factor. He don't scream X factor to me.
Steady Eddie. Goodbye.